Good morning, everyone. Welcome on this Tuesday, still sunny morning. Really appreciate all your time today. As with all of our webinars, it's a very informal webinar. We're hoping to just give you some really exciting updates on EVENTsmart. And we've got a demo version to show you of the Impact portal. So I hope you all like it. We also say to any questions as you're going through, add them in the chat box. Bex is here. I think most of you know Bex. She heads up our EVENTsmart implementation team. So please just drop any questions in the chat. Jake, who's our developer, will also be on the call hopefully any minute, just in case I get any of the bits wrong in the demo. But I'm just going to start sharing my screen, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to show you a quick presentation, and then we'll go on to the demo site so you can see it. And at that point, do feel free to ask any questions. Right, here we go. Sorry, little glitch there. So EVENTsmart is part of our CO2 toolkit. It was developed last year. It went live within our platform, and we created a version of EVENTsmart just for venues to enable you to be able to give a carbon footprint of the events held at your venue to your corporate clients. So just wanted to do some whys and some industry information that maybe some of you are aware of or not. But 70% of businesses now are taking climate action, up from 46% in 2021. So you can see the increase there. And out of that, there's any government contract 5 million or over now requires a climate reduction plan. The climate reduction plan includes scope 3, and scope 3 that sits in scope 3 is travel and events, which obviously EVENTsmart will support. So just to give you a bit of an idea on how big that emissions from travel and events are, for business travel and meetings, where it's an office-based business, 60 to 80% of their scope 3 emissions could be business travel and events. And a recent study said that 85% of global companies, including major UK firms, lacked credible business and travel emissions reduction plans purely because they weren't getting the support from travel management companies or from the industry itself. It wasn't ready to give them the support. So what I'm really passionate about, and if any of you've got on a call with me, is that the industry has made some headway over the last few years. Why we created EVENTsmart for venues was really to ensure that every event could be measured. Within the industry, 20% of the real large events, festivals, really big 1,000 delegate events do get measured, they do get seen, and they are being measured. But 80% of our industry is small meetings, under 50 attendees that happen every day, our bread and butter business. And currently this is pretty much unmeasured. So why is compliance really, really important, and why we think you should measure all events, and why we feel EVENTsmart could be the solution for that, is because it's really interesting as an industry to start seeing actually how big is the carbon footprint in our industry. As an industry, we can start to set proper sector benchmarks. A lot of the industry benchmarks are all assumptions, which we're hoping we can change and influence. Also, so it allows corporates to actually have strategic planning in the whole company carbon strategy, but also in their event strategy. If they're measuring everything, they can actually look at reducing rather than just looking at the 1 or 2 big events they do a year. So the exciting part, it's almost a year since EVENTsmart on our platform was launched. We did very much a soft launch last summer and started onboarding some of our first hotels. And since that time, we've had 525 events measured on the platform, which is a total of 3,345 tonnes of carbon. That total amount of carbon is the equivalent of 197 million cups of coffee bean to cup. So in our short journey of a sort of a soft launch, you can already see we're starting to visualize what the industry is. And these are only EcoSmart members that EVENTsmart is available to use. So some of you on this call might have EVENTsmart. Thank you for joining us on this journey. And others might have heard us talk about EVENTsmart, but thought, oh, maybe we're not ready, or even though it's great and we've tried to make EVENTsmart as efficient as possible, you might be thinking we just don't have the resource or the time within our organisation, which is why we've created our impact portal. So we're going to demo the impact portal to you today. The theory of the impact portal is that you can give all of your customers a QR code and they can go onto our impact portal and measure the events on your behalf. If you are a paid, if you have an EVENTsmart license, you'll be able to also get a copy of the report. They get the same detailed report you currently have. If you don't pay for EVENTsmart, you will have a free listing. So I'll just explain what that means. So and we'll be able to show you what that also means. So a basic free listing as an EcoSmart property means that you'll be viewable on the map. You had a standard measurement only the client can see using government factors, and they'll be able to visually display that measurement. And if the client chooses to then go an offset, that's up to them. As a premium EVENTsmart enabled customer, so if you're currently paying an annual license, this is included on top. You're viewable on our new map. They'll get the same personalised reports as well as government averages. They'll get your branded copy of the report as well as the detailed report. And the report will also be added into your EcoSmart portal for you to also have access, so that can be included in your actual company measurements that you can do and the reports you can run within the portal. So this is a short journey of what the portal is going to look like, and then I'll show you in theory. But a corporate client or a travel management or event management company will go on, they will choose the venue that they want to create an event for. They then create the event. They will then do the measurement. They will get their report. And then if you are an EVENTsmart customer, it then drops into your My EcoSmart portal. Also going live in September is API connections. So we're going, if you choose not to have the QR code, but you also want to be able to record all of your events, we're looking at connections and integrations to diary management tools such as Ivy. We can connect to anyone who wants our connections. So if you have suggestions, we can research and see if that's appropriate. And we're also looking at the ability to upload a report for mass events. So if you've got a report within your system and you want to see how that works on our platform, you can send us a copy of the report and we can show you that. Last slide, and then I'll get on to the exciting bit of showing you the actual platform. But also just a bit of a reminder of what we've already achieved so far this year with EVENTsmart is now we have carbon offsetting integrated, and that is with our partners at Carbon Footprint. We already have a carbon community impact measurement box where you can write any community impacts, and we're looking at actually quantifying that. And in the future, we're looking at bringing in a green transportation tool with one of our partners who offer that as well. So I'm just hopefully really seamlessly going to go across to the next page. Right, that worked. So now you are going to see our new EVENTsmart platform and dashboard. So this is very much for a corporate to go on. The corporate will go onto this platform via a QR code that you give, and they will create their own company. Of creating their own company on this platform, they will then have access to find venues, and this is their dashboard. You can see here I've just created a company. It can also be branded to that company. So we're talking to lots of corporates who want this to be branded to their colours so it looks familiar for their own teams. So this is a version of what it could look like. The client will then go on to the find a venue. Here you'll be able to see all this is staging environment, so we don't have all our properties. If you're on the call and I scroll down and don't see your name, please don't be offended. This is very much a demo version, and we've just uploaded a chunk of our venues. So you will then have a profile on this site, so they can search for properties, and you'll see here it will show your badge level, and it will also show you if that customer is a advanced listing or a basic listing. So advanced listing is where they can get a detailed report. The preview listing is where they can get a preview of what the event could be. We also have a map here, and filters. So here, just like on our ECOsmart directory, a customer will be able to come on here and filter by sustainable highlight, by facilities they need for their events, and the badge level or the award you would have seen. So some of it is coming soon, because this is very much a demo version that I'm showing you, but really we just wanted to give you all an idea of what's coming forward and what you can do to make sure you're still part of this journey. So we will choose a venue. So I'm going to do an event at 15 Hatfields.
Sorry, Louise, you can't use the map view yet. You have to use the list view at the moment still.
Sorry, thanks, Jake. So I'm going to do the create an event here, and the client. So this is the client. This is not yourself. So I've had an event at 15 Hatfields, and now I want to create my footprint. So I'm going to call it demo. And you can choose the client's name. Then you're just going in and you're inputting dates, the duration, and the number of delegates. Here is just a community impact box, which I mentioned before, and that's down to the client to fill in if they've organised some charitable-based team working, if they've done some tree planting, whatever it is. This is a free text box. And then you will go and do create event, or the corporate client will, and then you can see here the event rooms have been pre-populated. So this is what we're going to need you to go and do, and I'll show you after. But the corporate client will work through and choose how many hours they were in each room at your event. If they had accommodation, this property doesn't have accommodation, but if they had accommodation, that would be included. And then they can go through, and it's a bit early for bed. Let's have some tea and coffee. They can go through and choose all the elements that they had at their event. If I just choose some food, let's have some sausages. Right. And then they will get a copy of the report. So this is very much currently how a hotel was doing it on the hotel side, to give a report, but now the corporate client is able to do that themselves. You can see here, if you've not seen an EVENTsmart report before, you can see here the overall amount of carbon, what it is per delegate and per day, and what that footprint is equivalent to in coffee. You can also see on here the visualisation of where that footprint was taken up from. Obviously, I just did a really quick event just to show you. Down here would be your free text box that you would put. So your branding and your logo goes up here. Jake, please correct me if I'm wrong, but on the corporate platform as well, you'll also have the reductions in missions depending on what your badge level is and the savings that would be.
Yeah, that is correct. It's just that that data isn't on staging yet.
Yeah, because this is a staging site. What you can then do, what the corporate client can then do is download it as a PDF. So they've got a copy of the report. They can download it as a detailed data sheet, which is an Excel spreadsheet with all the data of what's happened at the event. What will also happen is this is the staging environment, but it shows you the portal. If I went into 15 Hatfields and I went to the event, you see here, this is their portal, and a copy of that event is saved there. So it's really good. The corporate client's got a copy as well as the venue without having to do anything else. Then the corporate client can go on, they can upload. So this is more from the event manager side, so they can use it as a bit of a tool. They can upload any documents, they can upload contracts, and this can be shared with yourself. There's also a communications tool here. So if they want to know how much waste was done, they can send you a message, and this will appear on the staging site here. So that you can have it as a communication tool. They can write notes about their clients. And then we've got some other features like delegate management and travel management. And this is for the corporate client or the event agency. What they can also do then is go off and offset their event. We work with Carbon Footprint. And all our offset is done through there. We've just embedded it into our system. They can purchase the offset and they get a copy of certificate that that's all happened. So this is for a premium listing. And now I'm going to show you what happens for a basic listing. Jake, what was the hotel that you've loaded some rooms into?
I can't remember. If you keep going down, you'll find one with some rooms in soon. There we go, the Baltic Hotel. Yeah.
So you see here it says preview events. So the corporate client will come in here. They can choose, they'll put the number of delegates, the number of days. They can then search a room at the property. They would add the room. They would say how many hours. It's pre-populated it because it's presumed the amount of days, but that can be overtyped. They can add another room and do the same. They will then work through all the accommodation, all the standard government factors. So this is using complete standard non-personalised factors that are available that are embedded in some current carbon calculators. So they would choose outside of London and 10 rooms. They can then go down and choose what was had and how many cups of coffee, tea was had. Maybe they also have some soft drinks. They also had breakfast. And you can see here, these are the standard measurements per plate from DEFRA. So these are pre-populated standard measurements that the client will say, oh, we had a chicken Caesar lunch. So they would choose the light lunch poultry. And then for dinner, maybe they decided then they had a chicken curry. And then they choose their pudding. They could then choose how the food waste was organised, and they might need to speak to the venue on that. They can load their travel. So if they know it, they can load their travel. And then they would calculate their carbon footprint. And they will just get this visualization on the screen. So the corporate client can then turn around and say, okay, the total emissions for this event was this, from the rooms, from activities, and the breakdown here. So they don't get a copy of the report, but you are giving them the ability to do a basic measurement, and they can add it into their scopes, and they can choose whether or not they offset that. So we're hoping it's the first in the industry that's enabling people to start carbon measuring everything. And if you're not quite ready to take EVENTsmart, you can certainly give your clients the opportunity to measure something themselves. And this is it really. Jake, have I missed anything? Sorry, I feel like I've gone through this quite quick, but like I said, this is a very new tool for us, and Jake is our CTO who has been building this.
Yeah, no, you pretty much captured anything. The only other things to note are that the audit trail stuff will be coming into the events for advanced listings. So you'll be able to see exactly who's changed what, uploaded what documents and stuff like that across all the events. So that, it's not, so you can see, who's done what, who's removed what, or who's kind of like added things into it. And then alongside that as well, the big thing is integrations that we want to implement. So we're looking at two major ones at the moment, being Ivy and Salesforce, where we want to allow them to import events from there directly. to pre-populate the events and all the information, as get as much information as we can from these other event management systems. So we're looking at those two starters, and any additional ones that anybody uses. We're not against integrating with anybody really at the moment.
So if you want to be part of this, you need to upload your venue rooms. So if you go onto the My ECOsmart portal, and you click the room tab, you would need to go through the add rooms. You'd put the name of the room, and then you will start loading the square footage of the room. So and then behind the scenes, we work out all the calculation. So we would strongly advise any hotel or conference venue who want to be part of this journey, have the visibility on the map to do this. If you are considering being an EVENTsmart premium listing, this gets covered in your implementation. So you would just send us your floor plan or a copy to your website, and we will do all this work for you as part of the implementation. But if you want to be included in the basic listing, we strongly advise you to start doing that now so that you're ready. This is aiming to go live first week in September. We've just got a couple of webinars now with our agency partners and some corporate partners to promote it from their side and just check the functionality, and if they need any additional things to support with their event management on the tool. But from our hotel to Impact Portal integration, that's now all complete. So we're all ready for you to update in your rooms. If anyone does want to have EVENTsmart as a premium listing, we've got the capacity to take on about 10 to 15 new EVENTsmarts, and do the implementation ready for go live. We've got a couple already we're working on. But if you do want to be part of that to go live in September, so you're straight away a premium listing, speak to myself or Bex. But we've got a bit of capacity to take on a few more ready for September. I'm sorry, I probably gone really fast through all of this, so I thought I'll open it up to questions so we can do some interaction and answer anything, because some people have seen EVENTsmart, some people are EVENTsmart partners, some people this might be completely new to, so I might have missed bits in my presentation. So I'll open it up to any questions, and then Bex, if you want to tell me if there's any, because I can't see when I'm sharing my screen, and then I can show you anything on the portal if there's anything you wanted to see.
Yeah, we have had one. Jake has answered it, but it'd be good if we talked about it now. So there was is there expectancy of the client to do it, or would we be able to do it on their behalf? It would be great for us to do examples to show to clients.
Yeah, so the client impact portal is for a client to do it, and for the client to be able to do a footprint at your property on your behalf. So they've got the access to it if you have very limited resource. By all means, you can set yourself up as a client, but if your basic listing is only going to be that visual show, you won't be able to save the report anywhere, because we don't have EVENTsmart enabled on here to save it. So if you see Victory Service Club is a basic listing, but if I go to 15 Hills, you can see here EVENTsmart is enabled. So that's where the event will drop in. So if you haven't got that enabled, there's nowhere here to save, if that makes sense. Any other questions at all? Because otherwise I'm saving you all a half an hour, because we thought this would take an hour to go through. Anything else? Does anyone want to see anything else? I mean, we're super excited because we think this will be the first in the industry where anyone can get a carbon footprint, and it's another bonus for our ECOsmart properties to be visible within the event industry and have that opportunity to enable something at no additional cost. But your thoughts and any feedback is always appreciated.
We've just had a question of how much is the premium listing?
So to be EVENTsmart Premium, it's £1,500 a year. That includes our implementation and training, and it includes unlimited events, unlimited users. The implementation varies from venue to venue. So some venues we can do in a couple of days, some venues where they've got multiple, really big meeting space, can take a week. And then it varies the training. Sometimes you've got a small team and we're just training 1 or 2. Sometimes you want us to go on multiple calls, and therefore we go on multiple calls. What's to be said actually in the EVENTsmart is there's really good FAQs, where anyone, since we've had EVENTsmart, have asked us a question, it's in there. As you do the events as well, as you do your events, there is a downloadable guide that supports you as well throughout your journey with EVENTsmart. So we have tried to make it as accessible as possible. And I hope everyone does realise that we have the support desk available, which you can raise a question whether it's EVENTsmart or not, and that gets responded to quite efficiently by the wider team. Any other questions? No?
Not yet, no.
I feel
Obviously,
like
we are available on
yeah.
email or anything after the event. If you've got a question you want to ask then, or you go away, have a think about it and think, oh, I wish I'd asked this question, and then do come back to us. We are available to help you with that.
Yeah, you'll start to see some marketing material going out to our agencies. We currently work with about 40 event agencies. We've got our EcoSmart directory map integrated to about 10 corporates already into their intranet sites, and you'll start to see some communications going out directly to them with regards to this. By all means, do reach out, but we'll have a lot of communications telling them that this is here, because obviously we want them to go on the platform and start measuring their events. But from yourselves, you would have a QR code and you can use that in whether you're putting it on the invoice or your proposals, wherever you want to put it, we can support you. But you can then give them out the QR code, and it will take them straight to the portal to measure their events. Okay, well,
We've got a couple more questions.
Oh,
Just don't go anywhere yet. So question is, are you able to provide us with a short 2-minute video about how to do this just for an internal meeting? And then we've just had, this is a fantastic tool. Well done, Greengage. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. We like that feedback. Yeah, like I said, it's come off the demo and now we've got event agencies trialing it because it's obviously client facing, but that most definitely we'll share the link to this webinar afterwards, and our marketing team are going to be all over this, creating all the materials internally. But we'll get a copy of the slides sent out to everybody as well as the video today, and then we'll look at creating sort of how-to guides and videos in the coming months, ready for our September launch.
One more person typing. We just leave it a minute. I know, just says thank you. That's fine.
No worries. Well, I will stop sharing. I was just here just in case anybody wanted to see anything, but I really appreciate your time. As always, our webinars are completely informal, so I hope that gives you confidence to reach out to the team and ask any questions, any sort of things you think we've missed, let us know. But yeah, any feedback will be great, and we hope that you support us with this journey and update your rooms on the platform. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.